Alrighty, everybody. It is Sunday, March 9th, 2025 at about 6:30 here in Costa Rica, 8:30 Eastern. We've got the time change. East Coast is now 2 hours ahead of me here in Costa Rica, which means I have to get up an hour earlier to trade the open, if you can believe that. I guess the things we got to do to be traders. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. What do we expect for the upcoming week of trading? We're going to cover all the futures markets here. I'm going to give you everything I got to get you nice and settled and comfy for the upcoming week. By and large, if you listen to this analysis, take notes, and follow these videos every day, we're not going to be right every day, but I'm going to be right, a lot, and I'm going to keep you off sides a lot. That's probably the most important thing, is just keeping you disciplined and keeping you on the right side of the market. That's what's key. If you know when not to trade, that's going to stack the odds in your favor more than you can even imagine it. And then, yeah, you take your shots, you win, you lose, you win, you lose. If you've got 2 to 1, 3 to 1 reward for your risk you're taking, and you know how to stay out of trouble, that's the key to long term success. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. Got a little bit of mosquito bite here in the ear. You wouldn't believe the mosquitoes here in Costa Rica. It's not even the rainy season, but apparently I've got the blood type. I think I'm O positive, and they've done studies now that the mosquitoes love the O positive. I get it. I mean, we're sweet people. They like to eat us. It makes sense, right? So if you see me itching all my mosquito bites, that's why. Didn't get a chance to surf during the sunset, but hopefully I'll do that tomorrow. All right, so looking at ES here, what I can see is the monthly chart. We're at a pretty key support level here at 5,700 that I would expect a little bit of reaction off of. You can see we held that level just below 5,700 on Friday here when we had that reversal. So I do think you're going to see some support down here. It may take a day or so to stabilize. I don't know if I would expect, a move up like this today. That could happen, but I would say with that closing price there, the gap down at the open, I really wouldn't want to be a buyer or a seller right here, right now. I'm going to be looking for evidence perhaps that this support level at 5,700-ish is holding. I'm going to wait for my daily chart to potentially confirm that, and then maybe look for a long if I get a good read on that level, because it seems to me that either that level is going to hold there at 57, just shy of 57, 56.80, 56.85. That's either going to hold and the market is going to bounce big, and I want to be in on that if that happens. If my daily chart confirms and tells me, hey, yeah, that's got a good shot of happening, I want to be with that energy, that short squeeze energy to the upside. Or if I see evidence to the contrary, that that level is starting to break down, that's a big, big break, and we could see some serious follow through to the downside. So these lows here from Friday are key for this week, and that's what I'm going to be watching. Now, what am I going to be watching specifically? Well, the daily chart here is trending down, right? We're trending down. If I see evidence that we start to hold on daily closes here and perhaps enter congestion to the upside, then yeah, that's the first sign that that's a strong support level and we could be headed higher, right? Whereas if the daily is unable to enter congestion to the upside and we just keep getting pounded every time we rally, those sellers come in and just hammer the market, then that's going to tell me you could be setting up for something like this here on the weekly. Here's the weekly chart. If this 5,800 level holds and we start to break through that 57 level, yeah, you could see major follow through to the downside. I'm not betting on that yet. I've got my levels. I know what I'm looking for, and I'm going to wait for the market to tell me when the probabilities are ripe for trading. So for the next 24 hours, which is why you're here for this analysis, what do I expect? I expect a lot of chop on ES, and I'm sure when we get to NQ and the Dow and the Russell, it'll be similar. So if I were you, I wouldn't trade ES tomorrow because I think it's going to be caught between cross currents, and it's just not a good day to risk your money. That's my personal opinion based on what I'm seeing here on the charts. I want to see some confirmation what's going to happen here at this key 56.80, 56.85 support level. That's what I'm going to be looking for. All right, let's go ahead and shift our attention here to NQ. And I believe we are going to start rolling over here soon. I don't think we've rolled yet from the March contract H to the M contract M, but we will be rolling, probably in the next several days, the volume is going to shift over into the June contract. So be aware of that, okay? All right, so here's the NASDAQ. Same thing, you're at a key monthly support level. You can see it there. The weekly's got that support there. Yeah, we're entering make or break time for NASDAQ and the ES. I want to look for the same thing here. See if NASDAQ is able to hold these lows. I expect a lot of choppy volatility here heading into Monday. So if I were you, I would not trade the NASDAQ or the S&P unless you got one hell of a range-bound volatile system where you can pick off highs and lows of a volatile range. Even then, I see a lot of potential here for this market to either have a wicked bounce to the upside or follow through to the downside really hard. Something is going to happen. Something big is going to happen, because when we get to these key levels that you're seeing on my charts, these levels are very, very important using all kinds of different metrics, and they're telling us where the rubber meets the road. If this level doesn't hold, we're going to be headed south. And if it does hold, we could see a pretty serious bounce. So I'm just waiting for the market to tell me which one of those scenarios is going to happen. And then that's when I want to jump in and participate. So I'm expecting here on the NASDAQ, for example, probably maybe even an inside bar, range for Monday. It's kind of hard to say, but you're going to have quite a lot of resistance up there at 20,200. You could have some support here at 19.9, 19,850, and then we'll see what that does. If this happens and we get a close here like that, yeah, we close above the middle of the moving average envelope. That would be the start of a potential squeeze, right? But if we had that inside bar range and we close down here, then yeah, we'd probably want to test lower. I'd have to watch this. Then you might see, something like this. So I'm waiting for those days where I've got a clear read based on the levels. And right now for the NASDAQ and the ES, I just wouldn't be in a hurry to make a big mistake and trade these markets the next 24 hours. I mean, guys, that's the beautiful thing about trading. You only have to trade when the opportunities are there, when your system gives you an edge, right? So with what we're dealing with here, Vol Pro Edge, as I came out with earlier today, that video I recorded on the beach on my walk here in Costa Rica, my evening walk, launching Vol Pro Edge now, which is everything you see on the screens. We're using a lot of different information and it's giving you a hell of an edge, right? So wait till that edge is giving you, some pretty good probabilities to make money. That's the key. All right. So with the Dow here, also looking weak. I think the Dow is going to be a little weaker. And the reason for that is you can see here on the weekly chart, we're trending down. We broke through that key support level. We haven't really gotten to these monthly lows yet at 42,000. So probably going to continue to be a lot of resistance on the Dow into these key yellow dots right here. So if I was trading the Dow, I'd probably look to short rallies into, 42.8, 42.9, somewhere up in here, I think should be strong resistance. I'm really not expecting the Dow to do this today. So I think the Dow looks a little better for shorts. It's not something I'd go betting the farm on, because generally speaking, when I want to trade, ES or NQ or the Dow, I like to see confirmation on all of the markets. I know NQ and ES track each other better, but when you have agreement on the indices, I mean, sans the Russell, because the Russell's kind of in its own little world, but certainly the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ, when you have agreement on these indices, that's when you want to trade them. Here you've got cross currents on ES and NQ. You got what could be a decent little short opportunity here on the Dow. Watch your intraday charts. Look for that 42,800 level. If you see price test it and then fail, then that's probably a decent bet to look for shorts on the Dow. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the Russell here quickly. Yeah, Russell's still looking very much under pressure here. I mean, I think you've got a lot of resistance here to the middle of the moving average envelope, 2080-ish right in here, certainly the yellow dot. So good resistance zone on the Dow and the Russell. So if I was trading them, which I'm not, I'd be looking to get short up in there. Looks like the Russell's got some room to go. Note that down here at 2000, you've got a confluence of all these pink dots. That's very, very important. I would expect we're probably going to head down there and test that 2000 level on the Russell. Maybe not in the next 24 hours, but certainly I think rallies need to be sold as we likely make our way down to that level. You can see the yearly chart here on the Russell. I mean, you know, don't quote me here, but keep a very close eye on that 2200 level. You got a lot of support down here at 1800 that I think we're going to want to test by the end of the year. I know that's a large time frame. You don't know when we're going to get there, but if that's the case and the Russell, on the yearly is going to be heading back down here to 1800, that means the quarterly chart here is going to have to roll over and get into a little bit of a trend run down. If that's the case, then that means the monthly, as it starts to trend here, is going to break through its congestion support level, which we now have evidence of doing, and now we're headed south. So Russell definitely looks the weakest of the bunch. All right, so for the indices for the next 24 hours, I expect a lot of volatility and chop on ES and NQ. I'd be very, very careful trading those. If I had to pick a side, yeah, I'd be shorting into key resistance level, although the Dow and the Russell do look weaker. So, use that information. I'm going to be waiting for a little bit more confirmation on ES and NQ, of course, trading NQ. If I see any really good end of day picks, I'll let you know. Those are always my top picks. Do I see a top pick on the indices right now? No, I don't, but I'm giving you the analysis anyways as I see it. Nobody's got a crystal ball, guys. We just got to call it the way we see it and stack the edge, the probabilities on our side. That's all we can do. So here's the 10-year. The 10-year, pretty good pullback there in the weekend, but, is fear going to come back into this market? I'll tell you, if bonds start to rally again and ES and NQ break those critical support levels, then that, bonds rallying would be a confirmation, especially if the dollar starts to rally. That'd be a confirmation of the fear trade back on, Bitcoin getting whacked, that if you start to see those key levels of support on ES and NQ start breaking, you look at these other markets for confirmation, which I'll be doing and I'll be sharing with you. And that just gives you a little bit of extra support. Because what I can tell you here on the weekly chart, it looks like bonds are going to continue to catch a bid here, which could fuel the fear trade, right? So we're going to watch the dollar as well. But look, you can see on the weekly here, we broke that pink dot, super important, resistance, broke it. What do we know? When resistance gets broken, it turns into support, right? So you've got a lot of support here on the 10-year. Do I expect this thing just to roll over? And I mean, I don't think so, guys. It looks to me like you're going to continue to have some pretty good support on the weekly chart here for the 10-year. I know I'm calling them bonds, guys. I know these are notes, but we're looking at the bond complex, the treasury complex, right? So what does all this mean? What it means is that if I expect support, see, this is multiple time period analysis, using my patterns, types of trading, all these different things, that if I end up releasing the course, these are all the things that you're going to learn in great, great detail, how to connect all the time frames, the key levels, and you find your key levels ready for execution, and you just wait until those odds are on your side, right? So you can join the waiting list at volproedge.com. I don't know if I'm going to release the course or the indicators or any of those things until I see what people want, which is why I created volproedge.com. You can join the wait list. There's a survey there, a trader survey. I want to learn more about you guys. What are your needs, your desires? What do you want? I want to deliver something to you that you actually want. I don't want to create something that is a bunch of work for me that nobody wants. I certainly don't want to, have to launch everything and then have 2 or 3 people interested. That's not worth it for me. I'll just keep it to myself, guys. I'm doing this for you. Okay. So if we have a lot of interest, the waiting list fills up, 40, 50, 60 people. Yeah. Then I'll release it. We'll do the course. We'll do the indicators. We'll start live streaming. We'll have a live trading room. I'll go into full end of day analysis where I go ahead and share, all the analysis, like teaching it. Like right now, I'm not teaching. I'm kind of just pointing things out to you, right? It doesn't really help if I teach you when you don't have the course, you don't know what's going on. But basically, so go sign up for that wait list if you're interested. And if you're not, that's cool too. Keep doing your thing, whatever's working for you guys, right? So here you can see on the daily chart, if we're trending up on the notes like this, and then we enter congestion down, you see all these pink dots, support levels we came to, right? Well, now you got a lot of support down here on the notes, right? And that's coming in right at the middle of the moving average envelope here on the weekly. You got this nice little confluence of support right there. I think these things may want to continue to juice a little bit higher. So if you were trading the notes, you'd look to buy dips, right? Which could mean that it's safer to sell rallies in the indices if notes and bonds continue to catch a bid, and you see Bitcoin dropping, and you see the dollar catching a bid, okay? I know it may sound like a lot and confusing, but if you go back and listen to this video, take notes, put questions in the comments section, go to our Discord, link below the video. You can ask questions there. People are there who understand this, who will help you and explain it to you, okay? And guys, this is all the kind of stuff that it takes to have an edge in the market and make consistent money. So if you think you're going to wake up, throw on your PJs and your boxer shorts, stroll to your computer and just start firing away and make consistent money, that's not going to happen. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you got to really understand all this stuff, right? You got to, number one, have a technical edge. You got to understand how the markets, the interplay between the indices and bonds and the dollar and Bitcoin and all these things, and you put all of it together, and that's what gives you your edge, okay? It's very important. So notes are looking strong here. Let's go ahead and look at the Ultra Bond. I don't really need to look at the 30-year because the Ultra Bond and the 30-year are going to be virtually identical. So as the Ultra Bond comes in here, we can see that the Ultra Bond, depending on where it closed here, yeah, so there you can see. Look at that close there on Friday, right down into those lows, but now gapping up on open, picking up all this right here. You've got a lot of support here on the Ultra Bonds. I mean, the long end of the curve here, you can see that this pink dot held, so could be a little bit more resistance up in here for Ultra Bond and the 30-year, but still a lot of support nonetheless. So the fear trade may want to continue. Now, if we start to dump and break these lows, that'll change my opinion. But right now, that's not happening, okay? So let's just keep an eye on bonds for the week. Let's look at gold. All right, so looking at gold here, you're still at this resistance level that I've been calling out for the last few days, 29.20 to 29.30. That weekly big move to the downside there, entering congestion. A lot of resistance right up in here that I've been talking about. You see, we did have the monthly close here underneath this zone. So even though we're challenging it, still a lot of resistance up here. The quarterly is giving us a lot of reasons to think that we need to be looking to get short up here. If we look at the daily, guys, I'm watching these and digesting this information as I deliver it to you, right? I'm giving it to you as I'm seeing it, as I'm analyzing it. So that's why I'm thinking here. So as the weekly entered congestion down, the daily was in that powerful trend run on the downside. And then boom, we had that reversal here. We went up into this resistance zone right here that I've been talking about. So far, that resistance zone is holding. So I think you need to continue to look for shorts into this resistance level. I mean, until it breaks. And so far it's holding. So it's pushing, it's pushing, it's pushing. But look, I'd be looking for more something like that on gold. So I'd be looking to play the short side on gold. I do like that resistance level right here on the weekly. You've got some nice resistance on the monthly. You're into a lot of resistance right there on the quarterly. So look, does that mean that gold can't just, fire up, exhaust, and then, no, it can do whatever the hell it wants, guys. I'm just saying that, resistance is resistance until it's broken. That's what Charlie Drummond used to say. If you see resistance and it's holding and you've got good reasons to bet on it, then bet on it. You don't know what's going to happen, but the resistance is holding. So, I would expect it to continue to hold. And here's a key thing for you guys as well. You see how the daily was trending down. Then not only did we enter congestion up, but we got a trend reversal to the upside, but it's a trend reversal that's not really able to get anything going. We go from outside the envelope to back inside the envelope. Then we get a close below the middle of the envelope. So the probabilities are that this, this is preparing to push lower. Okay. So I know that all may sound like Greek to you, but thankfully for those of you like Greek Papa in the Discord, he understands Greek, so he can probably understand this. No, but these are all the things I'm going to teach in the course. These are the subtleties you look for when you see these different things going on. You match up the type of trading on each chart, multiple time period analysis, the patterns, certain dots in certain positions mean different things. All these things are important. What's the angle of the envelope? What's the middle of the envelope doing, right? What's the space in between these dots? That's very important. Notice how there gets a lot of space there, right? not so much space. You see how not so much, not so much, but then here it expands, more space, more space. All these things, guys, are super, super key, right? And by the way, we're probably going to want to go and test the trough. What's a trough? A trough is the opposite of a peak, right? So we're probably going to want to go test this trough at least. It's also matching up with that level. So that's what I'd be looking for on gold. That's just my 2 cents, but what do I know? All right, let's go ahead and look at silver. Let this puppy load. As you guys can hear, I got a lot of energy, had a good weekend. Um, got some rest. Was in the ocean, took a long walk along the beach today. Got the Vol Pro Edge website ready to get the wait list going and get some of you guys to do some trader surveys and see where we're at with all this. So it's exciting times. And guys, don't if you're one of these people, sometimes I get these people that comment like, oh, you got to charge for, oh, you're just another one of these guys. Guys, I'm not, I make way more money trading. Okay. So I become friends with a lot of you guys. I want to do this for you. Right. So I'm sharing, I don't have to come out and share this with anybody. I could just sit in my own little world, do this, keep making more money, keep it to myself. But there's enough money in the futures markets for all of us because you can apply Vol Pro Edge to any market in any time frame. So you could set this up on a 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15 minute chart on whatever market you want, right? So there's plenty to go around. And I do believe in karma. What goes around comes around. If you help people, then maybe in a future life or a future circumstance, if I'm down on my luck, I'll get a nice guy like me to come in and help me. That's why I want to do this. Okay. So for those of you who just don't have the time or the energy or whatever to dedicate to trading, I get that. Not everybody has what it takes to succeed. It's important. All right. So silver, pretty big exhaust here on the yearly chart. Quarterly's trying to roll over. Monthly, we're in congestion here on the monthly. The weekly, yeah, look, guys, I mean, you had a pretty nice move to the downside there, just like gold did, right? You broke a lot of that support there at 32, and we popped, and, the pink dot held, that's key. The peak of the envelope is holding right there. Certainly these dots are very important at 33.60, right at the monthly envelope top as well. The daily, there you go. You're trending up right here, right? Sorry, let me get my yellow arrow. Trending up, and then boom, we enter congestion. Now, this is still a nice little pullback here. So I wouldn't be shorting. The angle's pretty steep here. I wouldn't be shorting. I would be waiting for this thing maybe to 33.60, 30. Like if we got something like this on silver, right? Oh, that'd be rife. Especially I'll see what the volume's doing. But that would be the reversal I'd be looking for because that's into all that resistance right there, right? So does that mean I'd be longing silver here? No. Although it looks probably like it wants to push higher. I would be waiting for the short to set up because I want to take a short potentially into these key weekly, monthly levels, right? And then if we look at this and we say, well, look, silver might, it looks like silver may want to jump up and test that level. Well, if that's the case, then gold, let's go back to gold real quick, right? Because we know that they're correlated. So this is how we got to use these markets together. Let gold load here for a sec. If silver looks like it maybe wants to push a little higher, it might mean that gold kind of wants to push a little higher too. So, right, you got to keep an eye on that. Okay. So, yeah, I would be careful shorting gold now that I see silver, right? I still want to short gold up in here during this week, but we may want to go deeper into this pocket. We may want to go to 29.60 on gold before we roll over, right? And if you're looking at silver with this type of situation we're seeing on the daily when it loads again, silver looks to me like it could rally today, right? And if silver looks like it could rally, then maybe the indices will have a lot of support, right? Because why would silver rally if the indices aren't going to have some support? So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and load copper. We'll cover these today. I've got the energy, copper, and platinum. Because we're just going to get a whole idea of what's going on across all the different markets. All right. So, I mean, look, guys, on copper, this is looking nice. We've got a really good weekly resistance level right up in here on copper. I'm digging that 4.8-ish. Maybe the daily wants to push back up like that, and then boom, set that reversal up like that potentially. That's what I'd be looking for in copper. So, well, Andy, why wouldn't you buy right here on copper if you think it might go up there? Because the weekly and the monthly to me look very bearish. So if the weekly and the monthly look bearish, I want to wait for opportunities to short the daily. I don't want to try and trade the daily energy against what I think is the stronger current on the weekly and the monthly. Does that make sense? I hope it does. All right, so that's copper. Let's go ahead and look at platinum. And guys, check it out. I mean, I made the bed. Pretty cool, right? Got the hat on backwards. Why you have the hat? Because look at my hair, guys. It's in the ocean. I mean, come on. The hat is just better, right? It's just cleaner, nicer, neater. All right, we gotta have a little fun here as well, guys, right? Can't be all serious all the time. Looking at platinum here, I mean, look at the yearly chart of platinum. My goodness, guys, this is what's so cool about this. I mean, this is just the yearly chart. Look at platinum. It's been going nowhere for years. Let's see. I like trading platinum sometimes. Go look at some of my really old videos. And this is before I had Vol Pro Edge 2.0, but I still had something similar that was working good. This is working way better. But I traded platinum. I like platinum. You can get good moves in platinum. But this thing here, weekly pushing low. There's a lot of resistance here at 980, guys. I mean, a lot. So, I'm not going to trade platinum, but if I was, I'd be looking for resistance in that 980 level. Maybe for a move on the weekly like that this week, as the monthly maybe tries to go down to that 920 level. You see where all the confluence of support is. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking for. All right, let's go ahead and look at crude. All right, guys, well, we're waiting for crude. Check it out. The surfing is definitely building the tries back up, getting there slowly. Got a lot of work to do, but piece by piece. All right, so as crude loads here, let's see what we got shaken for crude. The yearly, is trying to roll over, but being pretty stubborn so far. But obviously, if the markets start to correct, we get a little bit of a liquidity situation. There's no reason, crude can't go back down to 50. That would be a heck of a buying point there. We're at a lot of temporary support here on the quarterly and the monthly. I think we talked about this in last week's video. The weekly chart here, still pretty bearish, but look, all these old pink dots, these are very important, even though they're behind us. You did hold that on close. That's above us, so that's not exactly encouraging. If that's above us, the live dot, which is now static because we've entered the week, probably means we want to head back down here first. Yeah, crude's got a nice pullback short pattern, so I think you got a lot of resistance here on crude. I'd be in favor of shorting crude here, definitely, for a move back down to this level here. So that's my analysis for crude. You've got a nice little pullback there. So one of the clearer patterns here for the day so far is short crude. Let's go ahead and look at, I don't have time to look at RBOB and heating oil today, but we'll look at nat gas. We'll look at a little bit of corn. Somebody asked about corn in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, check the link out. A lot of people were emailing and saying, hey, I can't join. The link's not active. I didn't know that it expired after 7 days. Like, why would I ever want a link to my Discord to expire? Like, what is Discord thinking? I don't know. So now I got to go in and say, hey, never expire. And then it changes it still. Guys, I don't know. We're learning Discord. I'm a trader, not a Discord guy. But we've got some very nice people helping out in the Discord, teaching me about the Discord, and I appreciate it. You guys know who you are. Thank you. All right, nat gas, let's let this load. And guys, while we let this load, depending, like I said, how many people we get on the wait list and where the interest is at with the course and the live trading room and all that, in order to get it up to a meaningful number, so it's beneficial for all of us, spread the channel, spread the Discord to your trading buddies, anybody you know. Even if you don't know anybody, you're passionate about what I'm doing here, the channel, go to Reddit, go to wherever else you post links and be like, hey, this guy's actually got something interesting. It's working. He tells us what he thinks is going to happen before it happens. I think a lot of people would get value out of this, right? So if you want to help grow the waiting list and get this to a point where I actually will start, teaching the course, live streaming with you guys in the live trading room, doing the full end of day analysis and teaching my entire system, spread this far and wide so we can get to a point where it's going to be mutually beneficial for everybody, right? So, and you can like the video, you can share the video, that helps. You can subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Definitely commenting helps, guys. Like I've noticed on the videos where when we talk in the Discord and we say, "Hey guys, please, you watch the video, just make a comment." You don't have to say anything like enlightening. Just be like, "Great job, Andy. Thanks, Andy." That's all you have to say, guys. And those comments, when I respond, that helps the algorithm push the video more. So lately on YouTube, I think one of those videos I asked a lot of you guys watch them to comment, and you did. A video like that normally would have got 150 views is already up to 500 views, right? One of my end of day analysis videos, and that's because of the commenting. So if you are really motivated and you're on the wait list and you want this to get to a point where we can go with it and start running, then help me push this because it's really important and I really appreciate it. It's like I scratch your back, you scratch mine. It's, we do things for each other. And if we get the channel to grow, that's going to help a lot. All right, so let's look at natural gas. Looking at natural gas here. I think I said this, right, guys? I think I said we're going to probably want to try and squeeze a little higher, if I remember. I can't remember where that was, but he's back here last week. Yeah. See, even that was great for those of you who trade natural gas. Like when you got that close there, I was like, do not short this. And just knowing that probably saved you a lot of money, right? So natural gas is a tough market to read, guys. It's not for the faint of heart. You got a gap up open here. There's a lot of resistance here for sure, but the fact that we gapped up and through that, I wouldn't be shorting this. I would be careful with natural gas. I mean, there's a lot of volatility here, but the monthly here, I mean, looks pretty bullish, guys. Like there was a lot of resistance here. We took it out. A lot of resistance here. We're not really respecting it. So, for the time being, I'd probably wait for big pullbacks and try to get long natural gas because it doesn't look like, the market wants to really roll over. Okay. So for all you natural gas traders, all right, let's look at the euro against the dollar, and then we will look at corn because somebody asked me to. If you guys have a specific market I don't cover, and remember, when we launch everything, if we launch everything, I will cover all these. I'll spend 2 hours every night going over all this because I got to make my picks for you guys for the live trading room and really teach you and go over. That's why the course is the foundation. But if you don't see me using it every single day, then what's the point, right? Like you got to have the course and you got to see me trade the course, right? All the other gurus teach like bull flags and bear flags and do this and do that. And then they don't even trade that way. They just trade based on guessing and intuition and whatever else. And I'm not even saying some of them are bad traders. Some of them might be good traders. But is it teachable, replicatable? I don't think so. This is, right? So just keep that in mind. All right, so looking at the euro against the dollar here, man, just a monster move here with the euro. I mean, euro looks strong. I don't see this as an exhaust for a reversal back down. Euro looks strong. So the euro's strong. If we look back at bonds and we think, yeah, the 10-year looked like it could push higher, but the ultra bond that we looked at, and then probably the 30-year, I didn't look at it, probably the same as the ultra bond. Maybe now that resistance that's holding, bonds are rolling over. There's less fear. Money's flowing into the euro, so you're not getting that flight to safety on the US dollar, right? So I think that means I'm going to be looking very carefully at those support levels for ES and NQ, early this week for a potential pretty good squeeze to the upside, right? Unless something dramatic happens and the dollar catches a huge bid and bonds catch a huge bid and head back up. But right now it looks like maybe the fear has subsided. Okay, so let's see what Bitcoin is doing. Oh, let's do corn first because I promised somebody in the Discord. Yeah, so I mean, look, for the person in the Discord with corn, it's a pullback. I mean, I'd say you got a lot of resistance there at 480. I'd probably be looking for the daily to give me some kind of an exhaust for a reversal back down into 480. I'd be watching that. I'm seeing a lot of mixed currents here. This doesn't look like an easy market to trade right now in corn. Sometimes corn will be clear. This doesn't look clear. So unless you're a corn expert, I'd be careful. This is the best I can give you on corn right now. Let's go ahead and finish off here with some Bitcoin right here. And then we'll just go back to NQ one more time because I know that that's everybody's favorite market, mine too. Because I like to go back and say, okay, well, silver looks like it could push higher potentially. Gold, yeah, I know you got that resistance, but it looks to me like with silver maybe wanting to push higher, you know, maybe gold wants to push up, go up closer to 29.60, right? Euro's catching a bid against the dollar. Maybe bonds will be range bound under a little pressure. So then I would say you're definitely going to see some volatility and cross currents on NQES for sure. And then all this analysis just makes me believe, especially tomorrow, we're going to get a lot of information. So tune in tomorrow. We'll see where the daily bars close tomorrow night. But I'm going to be looking for that support holding NQES and that squeeze to the upside if what we're seeing on the scoreboard here continues to hold. Very important. All right, let's let Bitcoin load here. And this will give us some good information too, right? Because Bitcoin's very risk on, risk off. So yeah, I mean, that's really, really interesting. A big gap down on Bitcoin. I mean, but Bitcoin is all over the place to be fair, but you got a lot of support down here. I mean, the monthly held that there. You got these lows, the dailies down here. I mean, for those of you who like Bitcoin, I'd look carefully down at this 78,000 level. If that got tested, I'd probably look to get long down there for a move back like that, especially if the euro keeps catching a bid, if bonds kind of remain subdued, gold and silver catch a little temporary bid, ES and NQ maybe rally off those support levels tomorrow or Tuesday. That's what I'd be looking for on Bitcoin. I think the short there is a trap. We'll see. All right, guys, that's the analysis. Please do like the video, comment helps. Liking and commenting helps a lot, right? Sharing, I get it. Maybe you don't have anybody to share it to, but liking and commenting helps a lot. Join the waitlist at volproedge.com if you're interested in, you know, my charts and my system and learning all this stuff. I want to gauge the interest out there, so check that out. Join the Discord. You should have a functional link below in the description of the video now. I hope, I think. If not, you can search for the Discord at Andy_Owings, just like the YouTube channel. You should be able to find it that way. Otherwise, you can email me at it's apaulowings@gmail.com. If you're having any troubles with the Discord or whatever else, or whatever, that's the email that I use. So, all right, you guys, that's it. Take care. Have a good evening, and I will be back with you tomorrow.